Okay, Jackson, in front of you you've got 6 counters. Can you please make that into 2 equal groups? Okay, so if you put your hand over one of those groups, what fraction of the whole group have you covered?
A half.
How do you know?
Because there's 2 groups, and if I cover over one group, that's a half, and that's 1 over 2.
Fantastic. Okay, so what's a half of 6?
A half of 6 is 3.
What would 2 halves of 6 be?
6.
Stop, think about that one. That's good. Okay. This time, can you make 3 equal groups? Okay, what would each of those groups be called if we're thinking about their fractional parts?
A third.
A third? Why would they be called a third?
Because there's 3 groups, and each group would represent 1.
Okay. So could you put hand over 1/3 of those counters? So 1/3 of 6 is?
2.
Okay. Could you put, and how many are, what fraction is remaining of the whole group?
2/3, which is 4.
4. What would 3/3 be?
6.
Thank you.
That's all the groups.
Yeah, thank you. And that's a question we really need to make sure we ask students. Okay, this time, Jack, I'd like you to start with 5 counters, please. So can you get 5 out? Okay, this 5 is 1/2 of the number of counters I started with. What did I start with?
You started with 10 because if you started with a half, you need to add another half, and another half of that would be 5. So I'd add on 5, and then I get 10.
Okay, so you doubled the original 5 to make the whole. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, this time, can you start with 4 counters, please? Okay, these 4 counters are 1/3 of what you started with. How would you work out how many you started with?
If they were 1/3, I'd add on another extra. I'd add on an extra 8 because I know that if 1/3 is 4, I need to do another 2/3, so that's another 8.
Fantastic. So altogether you would have?
I'd have 12.
Okay, this time, could you get out 14 counters, please? Okay, so those 14 counters represent 7/6 of what you started with. What did you start with?
I started with 12.
Okay, so how did you get to your whole when you actually started with 7/6? What did you do?
Because you need to have you need to take off 2 because that would make it 6 out of 6.
Great, thank you, and that's a great explanation. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks.